From Beijing today, an extraordinary scene unfolded in the heart of China's capital. Under the towering shadow of Tiananmen Square, China unveiled a dazzling array of drones, missiles, lasers, and even robotic machines in a military parade designed to send a clear message to the world. The occasion marked the 80th anniversary of Japan's surrender in World War II, but beyond remembrance, it was about power, presence, and projection. For China, this was a moment to showcase its rising strength, and for the global community, it was a moment to watch closely. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un sat in attendance alongside Chinese President Xi Jinping, transforming this parade into an unmistakable stage of geopolitical theatre. The parade began with the rumble of intercontinental ballistic missiles rolling across the square. The DF-5C, a missile with nuclear capabilities, was displayed with precision and pride, reminding audiences at home and abroad of China's strategic deterrent power. Following close behind, the DF-61 missile passed by, highlighting Beijing's continued investment in long-range strike capacity. These weapons are not just for ceremony, they are the backbone of a deterrent strategy aimed at rivals thousands of miles away. In an era of escalating competition with Washington, their appearance was anything but symbolic. It was intentional, a carefully crafted signal that China's nuclear posture is evolving. Then came the unmanned fleet. Torpedo-shaped underwater drones with names like AJX-002 and HSU-100 appeared on display, drawing gasps from the crowd. Extra large in size, they represented China's ambitions beneath the seas, silent, stealthy, and increasingly sophisticated. These are not relics of a Cold War navy. They are designed for modern conflict, for contested waters in the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean, where maritime dominance is often measured not in aircraft carriers alone, but in the capacity to control the depths below. With these drones, China is broadcasting its ability to reshape naval warfare on its own terms. Moments later, an even newer class of weapon emerged, laser systems mounted on military vehicles carrying the designation LY-1. Once the stuff of science fiction, directed energy weapons are now on the front lines of Chinese military technology. Designed to intercept drones, disable satellites, or blind sensors, they demonstrate Beijing's desire to leapfrog certain Western advantages. Alongside them, unmanned aerial vehicles cruised past, showcasing a fleet of combat and surveillance drones that underscore China's commitment to warfare in the skies without human pilots. Analysts warn that such tools could be decisive in any conflict over Taiwan or in standoffs across the Indo-Pacific. Air defense was also on full display. The HQ-19, HQ-9C, HQ-20 and HQ-29 missile systems rolled into view one after the other, representing a layered shield designed to protect Chinese skies from incoming aircraft, cruise missiles, or even hypersonic threats. In their presence was a message to Washington and its allies. China is building an umbrella of defense that will complicate any potential air campaign against its territory. In the calculus of modern war, denying access to enemy aircraft is half the battle, and Beijing intends to win that half before a shot is ever fired. And then the futuristic took center stage. Robotic dogs strapped to military vehicles clanked into view. Once dismissed as gimmicks, these machines are increasingly integrated into battlefield planning, scouts, carriers, even potential combat units. They symbolize the new frontier of war where machines may fight alongside or even replace human soldiers in certain operations. Following them, supersonic anti-ship missiles, the YJ-15, YJ-19 and YJ-17, streaked across the parade ground. These weapons are designed to challenge the dominance of US naval forces, particularly aircraft carrier groups that patrol Asia's contested waters. Their message was unambiguous. The Pacific, long seen as an American domain, will be contested. As the ground display ended, the skies above Beijing roared to life. Fighter jets, the J-16D, the stealthy J-20, and the newly unveiled J-35A soared overhead, demonstrating China's growing ability to field fifth-generation aircraft. Helicopters carried Chinese national flags high over the parade ground before forming the number 80, a tribute to the wartime anniversary. Smoke trails painted the sky in dazzling patterns, while formations of aircraft flew in tight synchronization. For many in the crowd, it was not only a show of engineering, but of national pride. Children pointed skyward, families cheered, and the anthem of the People's Republic echoed through the square. In carefully orchestrated fashion, Beijing had turned its skies into a canvas of patriotism. Among the crowd, thousands waved flags, clutched tickets, and posed for photos. Some smiled broadly as they held miniature Chinese banners, while others watched in solemn silence as missiles and armoured vehicles rolled by. For ordinary citizens, the parade was a spectacle of pride. For the leadership, it was propaganda at its most potent. Each cheer, each snapshot, each chant of the national anthem fed into the narrative of unity and strength that Xi Jinping's government has cultivated. It was a performance for the people as much as it was for the world. Yet behind the optics lies the deeper significance. Having Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un seated as honoured guests sent a diplomatic signal louder than any engine roar. It underscored the growing alignment between China, Russia and North Korea. Three nations often at odds with the West, now bound together by shared grievances and strategic necessity. Their presence was a picture of defiance, a tableau of a multipolar world taking shape before global cameras. In one carefully choreographed scene, Beijing declared that it is not alone and that its vision of international order has willing partners. For the United States and its allies, this parade will not be dismissed as tradition. Washington watches such displays as strategic communications, messages written not with words but with hardware. Analysts note that the combination of cutting-edge drones, directed energy weapons and advanced missiles signals a transformation in Chinese doctrine. No longer simply catching up with the West, Beijing is innovating in areas where its rivals may not yet dominate. For American planners, the parade was less about what is and more about what could soon be, a warning of the battlefield to come. Historically, Chinese parades have always carried weight. From the first celebrations of the People's Republic in 1949 to the great anniversary displays of the modern era, each has served as a milestone in China's rise. This year's edition, however, felt markedly different. The symbolism of World War II victory was not simply about history, it was about continuity, portraying China as the inheritor of triumph over imperialism, now standing as a superpower in its own right. But more importantly, it was about the future. The juxtaposition of missiles, drones, lasers, and robots painted a picture of warfare yet to be fought and a warning of China's readiness to fight it. For regional neighbours, this reality poses uncomfortable questions. In Southeast Asia, governments already uneasy with China's claims in the South China Sea see these weapons as tools of coercion. For Russia, whose war in Ukraine has left it isolated from the West, Beijing's show of support provides legitimacy and a powerful friend. For North Korea, the moment was one of validation, proof that its alliance with China remains strong and visible. And for Washington, it was an unmistakable reminder that the global balance of power is shifting rapidly, with Beijing no longer content to be a regional power. Tonight, as the echoes of engines fade and Tiananmen Square returns to stillness, the world is left with a lasting impression. This was not merely a parade, it was a statement that China is ready to compete globally, technologically, militarily, and ideologically. The drones, the missiles, the lasers, and the robotic machines were more than hardware. They were symbols of ambition. And as the West debates its next move, Beijing has already staged its response through spectacle, through symbolism, and through strategy.
手握战略重器，铸就和平盾牌。
接下来出没的是空中无人作战方阵，正面的新型察打地体无人机、无人僚机、无人制空作战飞机、舰载无人直升机。 日作战，自主协同，创新未来空战新样式。无人僚机、无人制空作战飞机，现在无人提升锐度，自主协同，创新未来空战新样式。无人智能机、水面舰艇、潜艇等多种平台，射程远，速度快，尾声强，是打击海上之敌的。
后中保障群2个方队即将接受检阅。向右看！巷战备战融合保障，后勤保障方队正向我们驶来。狩猎装备为野战急救车、野战帐篷医院系统、运加油车。基地化热食快餐保障系统，丰富完善我军现代后勤保障体系。
硬摧毁是反制无人机的铁三角。能机动武器、高精度微波武器等同体建设，既能远三山。低空战场，无人机的铁三角。
向右看！前翼大洋，出奇制胜。水下兵器方队亮相阅兵车，打击水面舰艇，摧毁水下目标。新型特种水雷机是扼手要冲、奇袭制敌的镇海神兵。
我国歼击机家族加速换羽更新，祖国领空绝不容侵犯。
高高飘扬
26架直升机对准巨大的8点字号，纪念中国人民骑士的伟大。这是天下正号的庄严称号。
Welcome to China。就不让实验，差不多8点20分以后就不让实验。老师这脚是不是？哈哈。正好你站那边。